I stepped outside my tent and felt a chill run down my spine. We had been camped deep in these mountains for weeks now, but something was different tonight. The air was thick with an unnameable tension, as if we were not alone. My companions shared my unease. Their expressions mirrored mine as they surveyed our surroundings through narrowed eyes. Something told us that our journey here was not without purpose, and that the legends whispered among the locals held more than just a grain of truth. Our hunting party consisted of 4 veteran members. John, whose tracking skills were unparalleled. Mark, renowned for his deadly accuracy with a rifle. Tom, experienced in survival techniques and medicine. And me, the leader of our little band. Our group, hand-picked by invitation only, represented the pinnacle of elite big game hunters from across North America. We had come seeking the ultimate challenge, the capture or killing of a creature believed to roam these wilds. Rumors circulated throughout the area of a mysterious predator. Some say a pack of wolves gone mad with rage. Others insisted upon a monstrous black bear possessing uncanny intelligence and cunning. However, few dared speak openly of such things, preferring instead to dismiss them as nonsensical folklore born from overactive imaginations. Whatever the source, the stories all agreed on one point. Those foolish enough to cross paths with this particular animal did not live to tell the tale. Skepticism filled my thoughts as we set up base camp in preparation for our hunt. Weeks passed without any sign of the elusive quarry, yet each day saw us venturing further afield, mapping the landscape and setting traps under cover of nightfall. Our provisions grew leaner with every passing week, while our rounds diminished rapidly. If our prey truly existed, it remained frustratingly evasive, testing our resolve with each fruitless excursion. But we refused to give up. Each new scrap of evidence, a half-eaten carcass, broken branches leading away from discarded bait, kept hope alive. Perhaps we would never return home at all, consumed and buried beneath countless tons of earth, forever lost to civilization like so many before us. Or perhaps, just perhaps, the prize awaited those brave enough to seize it. We were determined to discover which path destiny chose for us. A guttural growl echoed through the trees, sending shivers down my spine. Without warning, the darkness erupted around us, splitting apart like a veil ripped aside. What emerged could have been mistaken for nothing less than a nightmare incarnate. The creature stood at least 7 feet tall, looming above us like a dark specter. Its fur was mottled black and gray, obscured by tangles of gnarled thorns and twigs entwined through thick tufts of matted hair. Massive claws, curved and hooked like the talons of some great bird of prey, ended in razor-sharp tips glinting menacingly in the dim moonlight. Long fangs dripped venom where eyes should have been, replaced instead by 2 gleaming orbs pulsing with an otherworldly light. A blinding fear rooted my legs to the spot. How could mere bullets harm such a fiend? Already I knew the futility of relying on our firearms. This creature commanded powers beyond human understanding, powers that rendered guns irrelevant. Caught flat-footed and unprepared, Mark managed to raise his rifle, leveling it squarely at the demonic form. In response, the creature snorted, blowing forth a cloud of corrosive gas that sent him stumbling backward, clutching his throat. His weapon dropped uselessly to the ground, forgotten in his agony. By then, however, I realized my own hands already held the solution to this impasse. Without hesitating, I charged forward, swinging blindly towards the phantom predator. The knife connected firmly with flesh, sending sparks cascading skywards. Unharmed, the entity regarded me with disdainful interest, seemingly intrigued by my unexpected bravery. Withering tendrils lunged out, ensnaring me tightly, binding arms and legs together until movement became impossible. The air around me vanished, sucked into the void created by the creature's malicious presence. Chest heaving as panic threatened to swamp reason, I found myself helpless to resist whatever sadistic games the beast intended to play. Miles distant, Tom lay crouched behind a massive oak tree, watching in horror as events unfolded. He couldn't bring himself to move, frozen solid with terror at beholding the true nature of their hunted quarry. Nausea rose within his gut like a tidal wave, threatening to overcome all sense of self-preservation. Forcing his fingers to curl into fists, he drew upon reserves of courage long thought drained away. A warrior's duty called, demanding action regardless of personal dread. Bullet after bullet peppered the forest floor near Tom's hiding place, forcing him into motion. Sprinting recklessly through the underbrush, dodging roots and fallen logs, he arrived moments later atop the rise overlooking our encampment, gun still smoking from recent use. Heart hammering wildly against ribcage, he strained to make sense of the scene below. Two sets of silhouettes writhed upon the rocky soil, locked in battle at close quarters, neither yielding an inch. The black wolf, impossibly larger than life, bristling with ferocity, attempted to rend limb from limb the frailer, smaller figure clenched within its powerful jaws. Through sheer determination and quick reflexes, Mark proved immovable even as teeth snapped repeatedly inches from vulnerable flesh. Inches away, another struggle continued in eerie silence. Unseen save for occasional flashes of shadow and substance, hinting at a grim duel playing itself out beneath the pale moon's watchful gaze. Tom swallowed hard, clearing his throat as the adrenaline surged again in anticipation. Gripping his M4 assault rifle tightly, he took careful aim, deciding that whatever forces were mobilizing against him and his friends, he would die fighting rather than kneel before the malevolent force. He pulled the trigger once, and the air trembled with raw energy, flattening grass and branches. An ear-splitting crack broke the silence, accompanied by the billowing plumes of green smoke billowing skyward. The sound of gunfire echoed and reverberated across the mountain slopes, as if summoned by some mysterious ritual. Instantly, both brutality and sorcery relinquished their grip on mortality, unleashing chaos in all its glory. Shattered trees fell to the ground. The earth and sky shattered. At the heart of the maelstrom of destruction, a single figure, shrouded in mist and mystery, strode steadily forward. Tom stumbled backwards, tripping over exposed roots as fear gnawed at his resolve. A few paces away, he saw Mark slumped senselessly to the ground. Further on, John was slumped awkwardly on the twisted rocks, his features ruined. Dark whispers strained the limits of his hearing, a cacophony of conflicting voices whispering promises and threats too ephemeral to be fully understood. Each syllable clawed at his sanity, trying to penetrate the depths of consciousness, until confusion and despair turned into hopeless madness. Only the resolute will of a lone man armed with faith kept these insidious influences at bay. "You are not welcome here," the newcomer announced calmly without addressing anyone directly. "Go hence and trouble these lands no more." Though faceless amid swirling fog, something about the voice carried an undeniable weight of authority, commanding obedience even when utter nonsense met the ear. Abruptly the storm passed, leaving behind only faint reminders etched deeply across once verdant foliage, now forever changed. Sunbeams streamed down to kiss the broken terrain, casting dappled rays of hope where desolation had ruled. All vestiges of chaotic energies dissipated rapidly, allowing a measure of stability to settle upon the devastated landscape. In the tranquil aftermath, Tom discovered his comrade lying prone, unmoving as if dead. Desperately, he tore open John's jacket, searching frantically for any visible injuries. Lacking medical expertise, his examination seemed pointless, yet he refused to give up just yet. Resolution born from instinct spurred him on, prompting Tom to continue administering CPR until finally, miraculously, John wheezed raggedly. Struggling upright, he coughed violently, spewing bloodied saliva onto the gritty earth between them. Groaning, eyes rolling back into his head, John slipped away once morning again, struggling weakly against the void seeking to claim him. With effort bordering on agonizing, John squinted past pain, focusing upon Tom. He wanted so badly to thank whoever or whatever had saved them all. This mysterious stranger whose very presence alone guaranteed survival. A low chuckle preceded the response he sought, sending shivers down everyone's spines. Words emerged soft but distinct enough to convey their message. "I am merely another traveler passing through your world." Swift footsteps crunched gravel, then stopped before them in blinding white light, asserting mastery over darkness. "Call me guide or guardian angel, as you wish. My task is done here." Before their awestruck gazes, an ethereal being dissolved, leaving nothing behind but memories too fantastic to share without ridicule. Disorientation engulfed Tom next, followed closely by disbelief at everything transpiring around him. What truly happened? How could they trust anything they witnessed given its otherworldliness? Yet doubt remained secondary to practical concerns when every member of their little group required urgent medical attention beyond basic first aid. This time it was Mark, not himself, who volunteered to search for help, despite obvious fatigue lingering after such intense exertion earlier that night. By mutual agreement, they decided upon a safe location near enough town limits for comfort and far enough removed to escape unwanted scrutiny. Mark jogged off, intent and focused, determined to secure professional assistance as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Tom set about applying compressions to John's wounded leg as efficiently as possible, knowing that improvisation would have to suffice until trained professionals arrived. They waited in relative quiet, sharing the precious warmth of their small fire as best they could. Talk dwindled gradually to murmured whispers, devoid of substance save for occasional glances toward the surrounding forest. Their ordeal left indelible imprints on their souls, forever altering how each viewed. For just $3 a month, you can have your name featured in my YouTube videos and descriptions. Not only will you be supporting my channel, but you'll also be immortalized in the credits of my content. If you're looking for something a bit more personalized, consider becoming a $25 a month patron. I'll voice your stories and bring them to life on my channel. Create a special drawing just for you, or even write a unique story tailored to your interests. So don't hesitate. Join my patron community today and help me keep the spooky stories coming. And remember, together we can save each other from the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for your support.